Good evening, everyone. Is this working? Okay, no, it is now. It's working. Good evening, everyone. For the round number 4 for the Virtual Ender Masters. I thought it was not working. Apologies. Welcome. It's going to be the qualifying in 15 minutes, around there, for the 4th round of the season. 4th out of 7. No, I can count 8. Well, anyway, 4th round in the Circuit of the Americas. We are going back on more or less the capital of the rough motorsport. We are talking in the country where NASCAR exists, IndyCar exists, IMSA. I can go with the 24-hour Lemons even, but many of the most I will say different and extravagant series ever conceived by the mankind are from this country. Circuit of America is honestly one of my favorite in the world. Next to it is Watkins Glen, so another American track. Both of them were on the championship altogether. But anyway, apart from this, I'm Cristiano Romano, and I'm going to be your commentator for the qualifying session for tonight. Qualifying session that will declare tomorrow's starting grid, starting on the clock at 1 p.m. depending on you are in the world, but usually it's 1 p.m. all going from the UK. You can understand maybe by going that by that. 1 p.m. in whole of the Europe, just to be safe. Championship speaking, the situation is tight up front. Since the difference between Veloce Esport in the number 75 Porsche and the West Competition Racing in the number 1, maybe I can go just by taking it. Effectively, it's a bit easier. We can go with the Case King Championship situation. You can clearly see now it's a bit easier. Veloce Esport at front, West Competition Racing just behind, not even 20 points behind, just 18. The only exception is that Veloce Esport already has a win and 2 podiums, while West Competition Racing doesn't have a win yet. It may be now the moment of truth. Then we have Yassit Sport in the 296 Ferrari in 3rd place. 10th place only Nürburgring, a bit below the expectation, and Pulse Sim Sport 710 points, because last time 27th only for the Ferrari team. And then in 5th place we have Xenon Racing with just less than 700 points, 696 for them. Then we have Low Fuel Motorsport, tied with West Competition Racing in 6th place. Then in 8th we have just 10 points behind Sim RC Endurance team with SOP Esport in 9th with the 666, the devil's number. The Kramer Racing just a point behind completes the top 10 in the championship. Thanks to their 2nd place in the latest round, because in the latest round it was very tight with Veloce Esport, Battle of Porsches. And then just quickly below the championship we have Armamentario, the Italian Job, Unicorns of Love per Pool Sim Sport, then BF Racing, SG Stern, Williams Esport only in 16th, after 2 not over the top performances. Home of Steam Racing in 17th, ET Sport in 18th, Visceral Esport and TF Racing completes your top 20. Then we have Prime Racing, Creme de la Course, Team 1 FF, F1 Memes, Team Shazudity Omega, Petro Brothers, Ginalisi Esport only 27th, because in the 1st round it was a did not start for them. TSR Sport in 28th with Low Fuel Motorsport in 29th, and ET Sport completes the top 30. GC Racing by ACI with Audi in 21st, Burst Sport in 32nd, Temi Racing Point, Walfing Racing, Remvelten Esport with Porsche Binalla team in the Ferrari in 36th, TMM's Performance, GPR Esport, Vassen Motorsport, Unicorns of Love only 40th because of a did not start in 2nd round, then Spaghetti Racing, Lucy Motorsport, RCI Esport, Warhammer Racing, Firefly Racing, Absolute Motorsport with Asteris Steam Racing, and the sister GSA Racing by ACI complete your 47 driver championship. We go quickly back on here. It's going to be just me tonight, so I hope it's not a bad thing. Apologies, sometimes I make mistakes. I'm used to be alone, but also my brain is a bit shuffled sometimes, so I may miss some things and not really have the correct words for everything. Since I'm not really English, I'm Italian actually. But anyway, just a bit of tension, nothing to worry about. Circuit of America. Brief description about the track. It has 20 turns. It has been used last time in real life in NASCAR, in the Cup Series. IndyCar gets there. MotoGP was actually the last series to come here last time around. No, it's going to be the Circuit of America, not Nürburgring. Anyway, 20 turn. First sector that kind of takes maggots and buckets from Silverstone. Then second sector, which is basically a straight and some technical turns. And the first sector is the most technical one. Circuit that always asks for 3 different setup conditions on the same time, because you either need a lot of downforce for a high downforce fast sector, the first sector. Second sector, we can see because it's not qualifying is not it's not starting yet. It starts in 15 minutes. It's normal. It's perfectly normal. I will start the broadcast of the qualifying when it starts at 8 p.m. But anyway, brief. I will say brief description. Still, second sector is the quickest one, simply because it's a main straight and a couple of turns, and the first sector is the one that requires the more technical and mechanical grip from turn 13 to turn 20, and it's a bit odd because you need either a slow car and a fast car in the same moment. It's mostly like Suzuka in terms of setup, so you basically have to rely on some sectors while sacrificing many others. It's one of the most odd tracks around the world for certain. Many don't like the track, and it's simply because they don't have taste. But anyway, here main series that come here are the Formula 1, obviously F1 Academy this year will come here. We have Moto America, MotoGP, NASCAR Cup Series, the Xfinity, the Class 1 Track Series even. We had IndyCar, and etc. I don't think this year IndyCar is not here, if I remember correctly. IndyCar doesn't come here this year. It came here, what, 2 years ago? Can't even remember. Record lap is currently being held by Charles Leclerc from 2019 with a 36.1. GT3 are a lot slower. We will see some 207, 206, 208. It depends on the conditions, because it's wet track. It's not a dry one. Usually on the dry you can find even 204. But in this case, a 08 is the best you can afford, because the track is rainy and is wet. Currently the situation is damp at the track, but the qualifying still has to start 5 minutes away from it. And for now, we have 32 drivers only on the grid, with 5 minutes still remaining for the free practice session. For who is new to the championship, because it's possible, highly possible, the situation is simple. You get 100 points just for finishing your race. That's literally it. You get 100 points just for finishing the race, whichever position you are, and then you get up to 200 if you are on the lead, 195, 190, and then downhill. It's pretty packed up. If you arrive 15th, it's not a big deal. The main rule is to just complete the race, and completing the race in the first half of the grid gives you a good advantage on your championship. Whichever position you are, you can still be competing for the championship, even if your first rounds were not that good. And Google Chrome just died. That's an issue because I was using it for my... Okay. This championship has some prizes on it. First place in the championship, if Google can handle it, please don't die. Like, not now at the very least. I need you. Okay, it's back alive. 5,000 euros just for the leader of the championship. Second place gets 2,500, while third place gets 1,000 cash prize. And then we have from first to fifth some voucher to be used in the caseking.de website. We have 1,400 for Monza in first place. Second place gets 1,200 for Noble Chase. Third place gets 1,000 for Next Level Racing. 800 grand for fourth place on the championship, and fifth place gets a 600 euros voucher for Ducky. And then we have another euros bonus for the fastest qualifying lap, and another bonus of 100 euros for the team that gains the most positions in the race. Race tomorrow is going to be, I said earlier, but I will just repeat it for whoever just came late. It's going to be at 1 p.m. Central Europe summertime, or 12 UK. Pre-live is going to start from half an hour earlier, and you will be welcomed by John Dalton, theoretically, for the start, and then we'll jump in later on. But you will understand that I will not be the only one for this weekend. I have many more behind my back, and we help all the broadcasts go around the clock and the track. Now, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, some minutes, because I'm not entirely sure. It's 2, but people still have to complete the laps, so let's say 3. I hope the audio is going to be alright as the qualifying will start. How the qualifying works is pretty simple. You have... wait, I don't want to say some wrong things, just to be safe. It should be 15 minutes of qualifying session. Every time I don't know why I forgot. Well, I forget because I have many series behind. But anyway, 30 minute qualifying for everyone, and then 15 minute top 15 one-shot super pole. What does it mean? 30 minutes, it's free for all. 30 minutes qualifying, all the way you want, and then at 8 and 8:30, there is going to be 5 minutes of breakdown, and then top 15 will undergo the one-shot super pole, where the final qualifying will be declared. Now, currently there are 8 races, by the way. I earlier on I said 7, so this is effectively the round bot. Don't know how it's said in English, to be fair, but it's basically halfway around the championship. So from here on, things will be decided more definitely. So every mistake now counts. Earlier on it wasn't a big deal, now it is. Since the championship up ahead is very tight, everything counts for it. Now, for whoever drives the Audi, this at the moment is not a good situation. I'm not seeing also, speaking of Audi, no, okay. Okay, it works. Never mind. Never mind what I was about to say. So we have a wet conditions track, which means everyone in the Audi will suffer. Simply put, it's not going to be a big deal. We have a whole bunch of Ferrari that will compete for it. The Porsche is very strong. Some Mercedes that had recently a buff in the performance. To be fair, it's a bit different to even go from some predictions in the qualifying, because it's a very different situation from the usual. Only 42 drivers. A bit surprised by it. Compared to last time around, at the very least. Remember that just completing the round gives you 100 points. Just a Lamborghini on the field. That is also the Evo 2. So that's possibly the most interesting piece of machinery that we will be looking at. It's a bit of a question mark, simply because it's a new car and it's the only new car. There are a whole bunch of Ferrari, many Porsches, well, many, 2, 3 Porsche only. This round. And the Lamborghini is always a bit of an unknown market, mostly even because it is receiving a difference of performance basically every week up at until this point. Qualifying session is effectively qualifying session. Yeah. Free practice is essentially over. We'll jump in the second it starts. Just waiting for some more cars to end it. So it means just now, speaking of which, as we go into the main broadcast, and I said into the main broadcast, great. Okay, now it's way better. Why isn't it working? It's a bit odd, this one here. Let me check. Not really sure why it's not working. This is not supposed to have happened. Not really sure why, I'll be completely honest. Let me just think about it. Maybe I can resolve it quickly. Because it shouldn't look like this. Leonardo? Are you working? Okay, now it works. I don't know how, but I resolved it. I was astonished by what I managed to create. Yeah, qualifying tower is now working. And if you ask me how, I have no clue. It's just happened. But anyway, better like this. Apostle currently in the number 1. We just went for him kind of randomly. It's a bit hot, 28 degrees. Track temperature is 30. In American Fahrenheit I have no clue. Search for it because I literally have no clue how the conversion works. Simply put. First on track is going to be, let me check quickly. I can go with a 76 number with Lucas Rode up ahead of everyone. He will be leading the train from a drying qualifying session. Not drying, drying up, let's say. Some people still sitting in the pits, possibly waiting for a more drier surface. The track is currently damp, as we can go with a little preview with the track. So we go into turn 1, a V-shaped corner, and then into turn 2. Usually it is flat out, not in this case, not really. And then the S's that goes from 3 to 7. Very quick. You can't go really on the curb, mostly because it's slippery, simply put. You can see a bit of a lockup in the front for the Aston, going a bit wide on entry. The first laps are going to be some banger laps, mostly to adjust yourself to the pressures and to the conditions, as they differ a bit session to session, and the amount of cars on track changes it too. We are now into 11 to go through the main straight into 12. The straight being nearly a kilometer long. into 12 we go, and then here starts the technical part of the circuit. 5.5 kilometers long. Into 13 we go, and now it's the part where you can go for different lines. You can go for a more inner line or a more outside to get a better traction on exit, which in these conditions it's not really the worst of ideas. And then into 17 and 18, a long right-hander, kind of resembling the Turkey racetrack. Then into 20 we go at the finish of our lap, and for road is going to be a 10.3. Apostle didn't set a valid one, and next line I have it was Vrobel in third, Delfante in second, 1.1 away from the lead. Honda that had some adjustment to the BOP, as Crossland goes in pole, provisional pole in 09.1 for Williams C-Sport. And goes into the wall after all. Into the barrier just after turn number 1. As I want to check the reason why. Oh, it is okay, I'm not really understanding. I'll be fair. Ibrahimi is currently on pole for the Rheinbelt and e-sport. Number 71, with Schwanke in third. Wasn't in fourth, Cosfold in fifth, but at the current situation, the position is very, very provisional. The track will get better and better as the time passes. So for now, it's simply a moment of wait as Stoll goes in third for the boys competition racing, in front of the sister car, because they still haven't made a single lap. Just behind the BMW, you can see the dry line. Basically, well, it's quite easy to recognize, like it's there. In this condition, it's also very important to stay on the main dry line. By going in the wet side, you lose a ton of time. It's not completely a bad idea, as we can go in the splitter. You can see the GT Sport number 47 in last place at the moment, as Apostle, speaking of which, went fastest. And the West Competition Racing is now in first and fourth place. Apostle putting the quickest now, 08.6. An improvement by anyone is expected. Speaking of which, it's Ibrahimi that is about to set the quickest. Now ongoing. No, this camera is beautiful to be seen. The carousel, kind of, 3 tenths below themselves. Now remember, the green or red interval is the delta from their personal best, not the delta from the pole lap. So this means that Ibrahimi is not going to set the pole, but it's going to be an improvement by 2 tenths, just second, a tenth away from pole, but with plenty of tenth of minute to go. Still everything to be declared and to be ended. Apostle is also making an improvement, possibly utilizing with the Mosaic cockpit cam on this one here. Oh, a bit on the curb, a bit too much. And it was a loss of traction on the rear twice, thrice. And in fact you can see, well no, you can't see it, but you can trust me, the gap from himself basically went downhill pretty quickly. As we go back into our broadcast, 5 tenths, 6 tenths away is now the delta, 7, 8 obviously because they are slowing down. Sever for SOP Esports, the American in his home soil is going quick. The BMW has always been one of the quickest cars, mostly thanks to its ability to be safe to drive. Stability on the oh, there is a bit of impeding. Maybe I can't say for certain. No, it's a valid lap for. No, see it. Okay, now it's better. It was a valid lap for the Unicorn of Love or the Pulse Sim Sport. The deliveries are very similar one another. Sever just in third, unfortunately, because he was setting the pole up, and everything went into pieces. At the very last time, you can see, in fact, just behind, it is the car that kind of ruined the expectation. It was, can't say for certain, because you can see the issue here. Both cars are similar and into the pit, so I can't say 100% who that was. It may have been either Transvika Hacker or no, I can't be certain, so I will not give fault to one of them, because Durkop is in 4th at the moment, just behind. So this is the Pulse Sim Sport per Unicorn of Love, the number 4, while Transvika Hacker in the 52 is the Pulse Sim Sport. Only. Even that's, now that I think about it, should be slightly different for the number 4, while it isn't. So I guess that's a mistake on the livery, because usually it is different. But 10 minutes into the qualifying session, we have Apostle about to set another quickest lap. Ibrahim in 2nd, Sever in 3rd, with Vassner in 4th, and Durkop completed your top 5. As we go for the final moments of the lap, you can see first sector was the quickest, second sector it was the best, and the first sector is going to be... Oh, it's not a valid lap! Never mind, it's not going to be a valid lap. Went wide on the very last turns, and it's not a valid one. Unfortunately, because it was a very good lap. It was a 0.5. It would have been a 10th better, as Delfante goes in 4th, best 3rd sector of the entire evening, being made by the Italian for the Italian job. Kind of the pillar of the team, and I would like to say differently, but it has been clear during the races. And Barrier, out of nowhere, without a single purple sector, goes in pole at 08.5 to 7, a 10th away from Apostle, and 2 away from Ibrahimi, nearly 3 from Sever, with Elfante in 5th. Now, an improvement is on the way for Murdosov, but it's not going to be a valid one. It's going to be a valid one for Agostat, for Xenon Racing. Just in 16th place they are. As you can see, the delta, it's an entire second. That's out of this league. It's going to be a great improvement if he can stay, and the rear goes off. And qualifying lap is over, mostly. We can go with the helicam to see that he went wide, and the rear simply was not there anymore, sliding all the way down into the carousel. And in fact, it has not been an improvement. 16th stays for the Xenon Racing and 4, because it was an entire second, and even something more to be taken off. It would have been enough for 4th. So everything has to be done again, but with 17 minutes to go, and the track staying like this, because you can see the weather is the same, so it's not going to be any improvement. Bischoff for Kramer Racing, without a single lap being set, still last, and still without a valid lap. In the new Porsche 992, you can understand the car by a lot of things. First of all, is a wider front, a longer wheelbase. The lights is the clearest way to understand if it is a 992. Crossland was improving tend to search for someone. Again, Augustat is a clear improvement as we go for the Mosaic will come. Oh, the rear snaps off! Brakes. Okay, they work. But it was a very late moment. You saw the wheel going left and right to maintain the control on the car. It's nearly pole. Don't say it out loud, because earlier on we saw how it happened. Now, please don't mess it up, because obviously nothing matters in terms of pole position. The main thing is getting into top 15. Then it's going to be the super pole. As you go into 19, just on the curb, over the curb. And luckily they can do it because the Mercedes is a good car on the curbs. And then into 20, not in this curb though, because it's basically an entire rock. It's a little mountain. They don't go for first, they go for second in I would say a gear shift of difference. 45 milliseconds. Usually you take 60 milliseconds just to blink your eyes. So yeah, you can understand. 40 to 60. Literal blink of an eye. This is how close it is. But unfortunately nothing really matters, because the important thing is to get in this place. Simoncic in the 49 Bursa Sport is wait, maybe it's better to do like this, because I was thinking about keeping the driver names. It's possibly better to stay like this, and later on get back on. Well, I can just do one another. It's not really a big deal. Now, as always, tell me if the audio is okay, because that's one of my biggest fear. Tell me if the audio from the racetrack and my audio are okay. If I have to lower them, have them louder, don't know. If you want me to shut up, even. I understand maybe if I talk too much. Many people say it, so it's not really something that I take personally. I'll just find your house and sell for you. But anyway, no. Murtasov, 6 tenths away from himself. Up ahead, nearly 7. Oh, it's actually 7. It's actually more than 7, and it's enough to get 3 times away. Not anymore. In 8th place. Not that close in terms of positioning on track, since they are in 8th place, but it's 3 times away from pole. Barrier still maintaining it. August is in 2nd. Many drivers can even end it here, because I don't think the track will improve that much. 30 minutes to go. Murtasov does exactly what I said by going out the very instant I said it. Wasner is improving 2 times. Now the only issue is that many are improving a lot. We have Toll that is now in 4th place, 2 times away from pole, and this put Murtasov in 9th, and Wasner improving. Actually, it's a 10th place for the 1-2-1, with Wasner in the 255. Now in 8th place. Many are still improving, but I don't think the first 5 spots really have any issue, with Caracas being in 5th. Mostly because the gap between 13th and Schwanke is the same from 1st to 11th. More or less. Maybe 1st to 10th, just to be safe. So the first 10 spots have the same gap that we have from 13th to 5th to 16th, effectively. And remember, the Super Pole is directed only by the top 15. 1 lap only for them to be put on the racetrack, as Delfanti goes in 9th with a little improvement. We also have... Who is the closest to the line? Can't really the side. I think it is Cosfield. Jonas Cosfield. 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 I think it is. I'm not really that great on the German language. Bischoff. Wait a moment. Bischoff chose violence. After 20 minutes of practicing, I think they found the key somewhere around the backyard, because they not only they are going to improve. Oh, it was close. They were improving a lot. I think they lost traction on the very last turn. They were going for pole. 70 milliseconds away from pole they go. And Kramer Racing Esports is now in third place. And now, everything I said earlier may go quickly into tiny little pieces, because the Campo is improving a lot. The track seems to be getting better as the time passes, to be fair. Or maybe it's the drivers getting used to the track, more possibly. An entire half a second being gained, which means 12th place for them. Yes, an entire half a second is just 12. With Crossland in 13th. And now the tie line is half a second away from pole. So for now, unless someone gets very quick, the very final moments, Eric Delfante is absolutely flying in the Honda. Nearly going for the pole. Be sure to not deplete your batteries too quickly, because there is still another trance of qualifying session as it goes quick. And quicker than anyone else, 08.4 for them. So top 15 is nearly assured for them. With Barrier in second, Agustati in third. Also improving. Caracas, very much improving in the new Porsche. With I don't think... let me just do this. No, not this one. Here. Because I don't like the fact that it is a bit... Okay, I can't. Well, never mind. I wanted to put things a bit better. But anyway, Caracas is improving a lot. But it is again another time. It is a Ferrari with the Pulsing Sport livery. And again, I'm not really sure which one it is. Flashing the light, quite frustrated, to be fair. You can see the number is the 52. It was quite clear to be seen. As they go for an overtake in qualifying session, quite angry about that. Impeding a little bit Tasvika Hacker that was making the qualifying. As we go with the glorious ISA replay from the Helicam, you can see just the final moments. But obviously, Tasvika Hacker lost some temps. And I don't think it is enough to go for an appealing for impediment. But only 24th for them. So, actually maybe. Because that's not a great place to be in. And possibly they want as much advantage as possible. They don't seem to be finding the setup. 52 that was very strong in the first 3 rounds. Now here is a bit lost. Last rounds. I can actually tell you exactly the situation for the 52 as we go quickly with Delfante that goes in pole, 08.2, quickest for the sector. And there is also Agustat that is about to make it happen too. 2 times away, Delfante from Barrier. It's a very strong Honda in the current situation. Honda also had a buff, to be fair to the Japanese manufacturer. So I was talking about the 52. They are 4th in the championship. They won the first round. They were 6th in the second. The last time around it was not a great round, to be fair, for them. But at this moment, it's a disaster. A complete burst of flame in their projects. Only 24th. A team that started on the first rows, in the last rounds, is not even in the top 15 at the moment. And it's a bit of a big one. Not the big one, is possibly Crossland for the Williams Esport, nearly out of the top 15. Qualifying session giving some surprises. As Agostat goes in second, safe for the top 15. Ibrahimi, remember they were second. They were second some time ago. In 20 minutes, bit of things fell out of the window. They are still on for the top 15. That now, effectively, has a different story. You can see the distance between 15th and 16th. And you know, we were speaking about half a second, 4 times, easy. But now there are just 30 milliseconds. Now it's a bit more tricky. Ibrahimi is nearly going for the pole now. The Ferrari here seems to be very strong. Barrier, Ibrahimi are going to let some Ferrari fan very happy. So that's also why I don't really understand the pace from Tatsuya Hacker. A 2.1 second. There is a Ferrari nearly on pole. It's a setup not really put together. If anything, even because the sister car with SOP Sport nearly on the apex, slowing down as Ibrahimi goes in second, 18 milliseconds away from pole. Is that number 4 is 14th? Because there has been an improvement somewhere around. I think it was the Campo, maybe? Not really sure. I was looking at Ibrahimi setting the second. Rode may be able to get away from a bit of a spiky situation with a great improvement for the 76 ACC RL. Aston, in fact, they go in 8th. 8th place for them, which means the Unicorn of Love, Purple Sim Sport, is in the tie line, 15th. And the 52 is still nowhere to be seen, as someone is not anymore on the qualifying session. I think I can't remember anymore, because I saw everyone, no, actually everyone jumping off. So it was Coesfield not being recognized by server, I don't really know. Durkop, we are following him. I know there is Murtasov going for pole, but I think Durkop is a bit more important in terms of qualifying. The second I said it, Murtasov went wide somewhere. There's also Apostle trying to improve, but the current standing is Durkop that is really tied for making it in the top 15 Super Pole. Now we are having the first... oh, that's a lost of... oh, that's a rear. That's a rear going off. Completely off as we go for the Glory Season replay. From the Helicam we go. You can see braking a bit too late. The rear was not there anymore. Going completely wide. And into... well, actually, into the gravel trap. I'm saying just half the car. Into 16. The beginning of... the middle part of the technical sector. Single lap for them to make it happen. And Minar... oh wait! That's JLNLC Esport. They are not where I thought they would have been. Only 16th. And remember, even for them, there are a couple of important results that have been taken. 7th and 5th in the last 2 rounds. And in need for points after not starting the first. So 27 only for them. And they are out, for now, of the qualifying top 15. But there is an improvement. You can see it. There is a car up ahead, which I think it is Ibrahim in the 71. Also improving. It is it? Yes, it is. So we can go here. You can see the Lamborghini. Very quick. Not the quickest at the moment, but it will be just enough to get into the 15. And I kind of feel in trouble because earlier on I said, it's easy, top 15 is done. I should shut up more. As Bishop goes in pole, out of nowhere. This one here. And the Minar, as we go with the most racing cockpit cam into the carousel, 4 temps, which will be just well, more than enough. They need a tenth, less than a tenth. They are currently gaining 4, so unless they don't go off track, it's job done for Generality Esports at the very tail of the qualifying, literally 20 seconds away from it to end it, and in fact they go into 6th place. So Generality Esports make it into 6th as the Campo goes in pole, and this means Crossland is off because also there has been an improvement, and Murtasov is also off. So Williams Esports is off, Murtasov for Armamentar is off, Durkop is still there in 15th place. They gained just enough to make it happen. They are still on the line. Crossland is improving a lot. Williams Esports, can they make it? Can they make it into the top 15? It's just a couple of corners to go. If they make a mistake, it's done. It is job over. Dorkop can't make another lap because it's not a valid one. So now they have to rely on the fact that nothing will happen because Williams Esports is now in 6th. So Dorkop is off. Murtasov is still trying it the best they can for Momentario to get into the top 15. We may have some latest additions. So number 4 is off. Wasner on the line. The littlest of the amounts to an improvement. They go wide and they're off. And it's over. And it's over for Momentario. That's a major one. We go from the replay. This was very odd. Seems like they lost the rear. They kind of lost the rear on entry. And Armamentar is off. With Schneckenberger for Spaghetti Racing just making it into 17th. This is not going to be enough. So we are witnessing Florian Durkop for Unicorns of Love per Pulse Team Sport. 16th only. Tasvika Hacker 21st only. Vasquez Rodriguez only 23rd for Visceral Esport. We nearly had... Oh, there is another addition to the field. I'm trying to see what it is. I think it is Kleba for TSR Esports in 21st. And yeah, this is... Maybe it is better if I do like this. So yeah, it is a bit huge. Green light. Go, go, go. As I want to go here, and then into the first Quali standings, hoping they are working. The answer is no. Great. Not really sure why. Let me just check. But anyway, let's go quickly back here with my face on. Well, not face, logo. 5 minutes to go for the qualifying session, the Super Pole qualifying session. So I'm trying also to take maybe some way or another the Super Pole, which are not really working. Not really sure the reason why. Which really doesn't help. But anyway, qualifying session over with some big surprises. Mostly it was the Pulse Team Sport environment having a bit of a struggle with both cars being eliminated from from the top 15 is coming just now, which makes it a bit of a surprise. Now, Super Bowl. For whoever is new, qualifying is not over. Just to put it big, it's not over. We are still well. We are waiting for the 5-minute break. We are coming back just as soon as possible. Simply put, you just have a single lap. If it goes well, good for you. If it doesn't, bad for you. In the latest appointment, we saw some big scaffolding. We saw the Campo, Bischoff with Kramer, West Competition Racing, but many possibly didn't even put the final nail on the qualifying. Now in 5 minutes we will see, not even 5 now, it's what, 4, 3, 2, okay, 2 minutes to go. So in 2 minutes we will see effectively who is in front of anyone else. Williams Esports made it in 7th at the very final moment. It was exceptionally close between the time and the car in terms of literal time being set. It was the second to last, if not the last one, depending on the refuel, to be set. And Williams Esports is now into the qualifying top 15. Judging from what we undergo in the qualifying session, effectively, it is that the Ferrari is very good, if set up correctly. The BMW is a great platform to play with, and the Honda is oddly not that bad anymore, which is a good notice for some, and a bad for many other, with PTSD, possibly, from some time ago. I'm still sorry that, unfortunately, I can't really understand why the Super Bowl is not working. It's not really working, not sure why. Trying to even try to maybe refresh, because it's also may very well be, no, it's not working. Anyway, I will try to just go behind. As I say now, we're going to set the qualifying grid altogether. Below top 15 is done. There is nothing else that can be done. The qualifying session is over. Top 15 is going to undergo the top 15 shootout. 12 hours is a long race. Let's put it plain and simple. It's not the greatest thing in the world to qualify well. It's a good help for your race, obviously, but ultimately it's not a big deal if you didn't qualify that well. But anyway, we are now going, theoretically, some people are still on track for the final. Still damp, the conditions are remaining the same even in the top 15 shootout. With also the track temperature, air temperature and everything else remaining the same. And I expect a BMW on top. Nearly certainly. I expect a BMW on top of the field. Not really that optimistic about an Audi. The Ferrari seemed to be struggling for the most part, except the very few candles being lit. Anyway, we are now going for the final top 15 with. Okay, now it works. with the top 15 ongoing. Many still on the pits. So Brett is going to be the first one to go. He's not going to be Sever. So I wonder, because if I remember correctly, the driver that qualifies also has to start the race. 10 minutes ago, a single lap being accepted for their efforts. So you have your top 15 here. It's West Competition Racing, SCCRL, Xeno Racing, SOP Esports, West Competition Racing again, Lowfield Motorsport number what is it? 255, Yas Hit Esport, Williams Esport, Renvelten, Team Shazoo GT Omega, Kramer Racing Esport, Ginalis Esport, the very tail of the qualifying, Veloce Esport, Prime Racing, Lowfield Motorsport, Sister Car, and the Italian Job are your 15 cars and teams. And now, maybe it's a bit more important to put, not this one, it was not really what I had in mind, to put the driver rather than the team, because I think it's a bit more important to understand who is going to start the race and who is going to also make. Okay, no, it's Seve, so it was still the leaderboard had to be updated. So single lap. Obviously, who makes it first is slightly in a difficult spot, but the qualifying here is directly from the first, so the track conditions are literally the same as earlier on. Paradoxically, it may be better to start first now that I think about it, because there are less cars, so there is going to be more water standing, and if you start later, the track is going to be more wet. Well, if you start earlier, you still have the 30 phantom driver line that is going to be more and more difficult to have grip onto. So Seve and SOP Sport may have done a great idea, while many are going for the opposite, waiting for the very last moment. Now we can go with a Mauser cockpit cam in the inside of the BMW. Turn 2 into the S's. Approaching turn 6. And then turn 7. Some cars on track, hopefully not impeding a very nervous Seve, because you can be whoever you want, but if you have just a single lap available for your efforts, you can see traction control changes there many times. It was possibly even the ABS. I'm so sad I can't know the exact values they are taking. You can see how many times the traction control is changing, or the ABS. I don't drive the BMW, I'll be honest, so I don't really know which one of the two it is. As we go into turn 12, the rear again. Seems not really uncommon to see the rear snapping off. Into the technical section. 13. Bit wide. Non-entry, but maybe it's better for the outcome of it. And then a perfect line into 16. BMW is so stable, this car. It's astonishing how stable it is. Into the carousel. And then 19. Very much cutting as much as possible the inside curb. Braking on the curb, that's risky, but can give you a tiny amount of milliseconds for your time. And then it's obviously pole. 08.2. It's not that bad. It's actually not that bad. It's actually a great lap, to be fair to them. The qualifying session is done for them. Next car on the line is going to be Schwanke. 77 with 52 second being set on the second sector. First sector is not showing. Odd. Delfante went in second place, 3 times away Schwanke goes in further. Not really a great lap for them, to be fair. As Apostle, not a valid one. Not a valid one for them. And so it means it's qualifying over. Because their lap is not valid. It's a big one already. Augustat only 4th. They were going for 2nd. Earlier on, Rode 3rd for SCCRL. Ibrahimi goes in 3rd for Velten. 4 times away from Paul. And then I'm seeing a Porsche. He's starting the lap. Minar in 4th. So Genesis Esports. 1.6 away though. It's, as always, the one lap shootout is not really... it's not really, I would say, kind with drivers, as Toll goes in 2nd. So West Competition Racing still has a car on top, just not the usual one. Valentin Barria for Just City Sport is going to be the 2nd. Second what? The first one to cross the line just after Toll. The Frenchman currently going for the last turn, and it is just 5th, 1.4 away, 0.9.6 for Valentin Barria. And then it's going to be, I didn't take it in time, it was Vasner going 7th, and then Caracas that goes only in 5th, 8 times away from Paul. SOP Sport are really looking forward to it, because now the next 3 cars, only 2 of them are a real issue. But possibly they are the worst possible cars that still have to undergo, because they were in pole earlier on. Crossland, number 5, a bit wide multiple times, but still 10th place only, not really a good one. And then the big duo of the unknown with Marco Bischoff, the German in a Porsche for Kramer Racing Esports in the 977 992. Good line there into 19 and then into 12 as close as possible to the mountain to the inside. And it's at 08, a 5th for them. And then Mattia De Campo, it may be a great one for the SOP Sport. And it is indeed a great one for SOP Sport, with Mattia De Campo going for Team Shazoo GT Omega in 4th. So we have our Paul Sitter, Chris Ever, and then Peter Brett, Danny Baisden, Leon Seeley and Cameron Martineau in pole position for the 12 hour. Then we have Mark Toll, Andre Miclea and Marco Wong in 2nd place in the 33, with Eric Elfante completing your podium qualifying, with Matteo Vignoli and Emanuele Tagliedine. Mattia De Campo, Lewis Zelch, I don't know how to spell it, I'll be honest. Simone Alessandro Casciaro in 4th, and then your top 5 completes with Orlando Ratz, Tim Pishman and Samir Ibrahimi making the qualifying session. So, we have our top 15. Also, I'll just wait for the qualifying to end, because until then I can't see it. Because it's still showing the Nürburgring qualifying session. Anyway, with 20 seconds to go, this is your top 15. So now it's a bit of a good thing to put also the team names for you all. So ultimately, this is your top 15 with SOP Sports in front, and quite surprisingly, a BMW is not where you thought it would have been. Only 15th for them. So huge struggle for West Competition Racing in number 1. Let's go quickly for the championship, just to have something to talk about. The KSking.de championship. As I'm waiting for the qualifying results, you can see the number 1 is second place, and Veloce Esports are quite okay in the starting grid. Pulse Sim Sports 52 is nowhere in this qualifying session. Sen Racing trouble in top 15. Dolphin Motorsport quite okay there. Williams Esports still has a chance to get better as the time passes. Original C Esports at the very least is in the top 15. So not really the worst of the scenario for the Lamborghini lineup. So tomorrow, remember 1 PM Central Europe, is going to be your start of the race. The pre-race will go at half an hour earlier, more or less. We'll start the streaming half an hour earlier with 15 minutes prior. We'll go with the pre-live as tonight, so nothing really too different from the usual. As I'm trying to, in any way, try to go and get your qualifying results. So I'm not. I'm trying the best. I promise. See if they work. Okay, they work. Yeah, I made it. So here is your final qualifying. We have Team Shazuziti Omega in first, Kramer Racing Esports in second, Italian Job in third. No, wait, this is not the correct one. Why aren't the things working? I'm struggling a lot to understand why. Because this is not what I wanted to have in front of you. Because now it's showing not SOP Sport in front. Still showing another leaderboard. Because are correct though. So it really puts a bit of an issue to what I wanted to go through. Anyway, previsions for tomorrow, we'll possibly see a Ferrari or a BMW going quicker than anyone else. Not really a great surprise. But after all, I think, since the qualifying results are not updating with the final top 15, which makes me a bit frustrated, to say the least. Still showing. This shouldn't show. Can you like work? No, okay, it doesn't. Anyway, I guess. Well, I will just deliver you to tomorrow's race start at 1 PM with a BMW on top. Few surprises. Welcome to Show Racing number 1 that still has to try as much as possible to gain positions. And we'll see who effectively will be on top. But from my side, it is all. Tomorrow afternoon is going to be John that will start the race. Alongside him it is, if I remember correctly, which my memory obviously lacks a lot of, because it's not really the best one on the grid for memory, but it's Team Peck, if I remember correctly. It's going to be alongside him. Then I'm going to go with Luke Etheridge with 3 hours. Then again John and Tim with Tim Luna and Jack Kunanen for some hours, and then I will do the final of the race at 9 o'clock, because I think that's where I will be doing 2 hours and a half. And yeah, if you have important question for the night, like the worst possible, please invent them. Just ask which flavor of cake is the better, I'll be okay. It's going to be 1 AM, so I'm perfectly okay with everything. But from my side, I'm Chris Romano. This was your qualifying session. And unless there is a final surprise, please do. Please do, I don't want to end without the qualifying session. Okay, no, I can't. Anyway, I will see you all tomorrow. And be sure to not lose the start. See you all tomorrow. Bye.